Combinators means combining, right? So what are we combining here? Different selectors, right? So combining different selectors are known as combinators. Right. So why we are going for combinators now? What is the use of combinators? If you are selectors, why we are going for combinators? We already saw how to select elements and how to make our code look clean. But why we are going to combinators? What is the advantage? Screen I kept full size. You can see it now. So yesterday we solved that question, right? Where is that? Investors. Okay. So yesterday, how many investors we solved? Only 4 investors, right? Means we are solving only 4 investors. Suppose think you have 100 investors. So what will you do? So yesterday we have only 4 child boxes, right? 4 childs. Suppose if you have few more child boxes, think it has some 100 or 50 or something. So will you go on give classes to each and every child? Class is equal to box. Will you go on give like this? Will this make your code look very good? This is also repetition, right? This is also kind of repetition. So using combinators, it will reduce the usage of classes and IDs. So without using any classes or any IDs, you can catch any element you want. Okay. For that, you need to follow some rules. So there are some rules for you to follow for achieving these kind of things. So we'll see what are those rules and all. So did you get the disadvantage of yesterday's using only classes or IDs, everyone? What is the disadvantage of using only classes or using only IDs? You are repeating class names also, right? As it is full screen. I'll share it again once. Now is it full? Okay. So how many combinators we have? How many ways we can combine? How many combinators we have? Basic combinators. So there are basically 4 combinators. What is the first one? Descendant. It is represented by space. And what is the second one? Child. It is represented by greater than symbol. And third one is general sibling. It is represented by tilde. And fourth one is adjacent sibling, represented by plus. You need to remember these symbols. Okay, these symbols are very important. For descendant, it is space. For child, it is greater than. For general sibling, tilde. For adjacent sibling, plus. I will tell in detail what are these things. I will tell in detail. So please make a picture of these symbols in your mind. Okay, what are the different symbols we will use for descendant, child, general, and adjacent? Okay. So we'll see first descendant setup. Before understanding this, so you need to understand this family tree. So this is Amitabh Bachchan family tree. So did you guys read the notes? If you read the notes or if you watch the pre-class, you can see that. So what do you mean by Descendant selector. What do you mean by descending order? What do you mean by descending order? Higher to lower or lower to higher? Can you say descending means top to bottom? Top to bottom. Can you say that? Okay. So who are descendants now? Who are descendants? For your father, who are descendants? For your father, for your father, suppose you are two children. So both of you are descendants, right? Can you say descendants are next generations, not in the same generation, right? Is your mother descendant to your father? No, right? So descendants are of next generation, not of the same generation, right? Okay. So now for Arivansh Rai Bachchan, Amitabh Bachchan is a descendant. Amitabh Bachchan is also a descendant. And for Arivansh Rai Bachchan, Abhishek Bachchan is also a descendant. Do you agree with that? And here Beam Bachchan is also a descendant on Amrita Bachchan. And is Aradhya is also a descendant. Navya Navel is also a descendant, right? So can you tell whoever lies below to Arivansh Rai Bachchan, everyone is descendant, right? Whoever lies below or below to Arivansh Rai Bachchan, everyone is a descendant. Do you agree with that? I'm talking about Arivansh Rai Bachchan. Whoever lies below to him. So all these persons here, they're called as descendants of Arivansh Rai Bachchan, right? Everyone. Do you agree? Cool. So now tell me, for Abhishek Bachchan, who are descendants? Sorry, for Amitabh Bachchan, who are descendants? For Amitabh Bachchan, who are descendants? Is Abhishek Bachchan a descendant? Is Aradhya a descendant? Shweta Nanda is a descendant? Navya Naveli? So whoever lies below Amitabh Bachchan are descendants, right? All those things are descendants. So can you tell that these are descendants for Amitabh Bachchan? Is Beam Bachchan descendant from Amitabh Bachchan? Is Beam Bachchan descendant from Amitabh Bachchan? No, right? He's not lying below Amitabh Bachchan, right? He is of different family. Different family since different blood groups. Say. Getting my point, everyone? So let's see in terms of code now. So we go to combinators, copy path. Cool. So there is one shortcut for getting the HTML template. So we are writing previously HTML and HTML for each and every question, right? So I'm writing head and I'm writing body. Okay. So there is one shortcut for getting this template. So it will be inbuilt for you whenever you install VS Code. That is, you can simply type exclamatory mark and then enter. You can ignore these meta tags for now. We'll see what are these meta tags in our future classes. Okay. But the simple thing is type exclamatory mark and then type enter. Okay. So you can try this whenever you're building some assignments or something. So now we'll see something known as descendants. Suppose if I keep a div here, okay, I'll keep a p here, saying p1. So is this p1 descendant of this div? Is this p1 descendant of the div? So I will tell p1 inside div. So if I write on one more p, I will tell p2 inside div. Is this p2 descendant of the div? Suppose if I write one more p here, p3 outside div. Is this p3 descendant of the div? It is not lying inside, right? It is not lying below the div. Can you see that? When you close this div, it is not visible. So is this p3 inside the div or outside the div? So is it descendant or not a descendant? It is not lying below this div, right? So it is not a descendant. So first we'll see what is the syntax of this. So I will write style. So first we'll see descendant selected. So what is the symbol? What is the symbol for this? For denoting this descendant? Space. Okay. So now, so we are selecting we are telling combinators, right? So combinators is combining two selectors or more than two selectors. Can we select two or more? We can do two or more, right? So it can be something like selector 1 space selector 2 space selector 3 and so on, right? Do you agree with that? You can have how many selectors you want. So what are the various selectors you learned yesterday's class? What are the various selectors you learned? You learned tag, ID, class, and universal, right? So can you use whatever selector you want in this place of selectors? You can use tag, right? You can use tag, or you can also write ID. You can also write class. You can also write universal, correct? So you can use whatever selectors you want. So now here I will write div space p. So what does space mean? What does space mean? What selector I'm using? What combinator I'm using? If I'm giving space, it is descendant, right? So what it will do? It will select all p's which are descendants of div. Do you agree with this? It will select all p's. So it will select this is the reference. Div is the reference. And whatever p's are lying are descendants of this div, we are telling them to select. Right? So select all p's which are descendants of div. Understood this step, everyone? So now I'll refresh my page. We are getting P1, P2, P3. Now if I write background color as red. So what all P's I will get background as red? So I'm giving you options here. First option is P1, P2, P3. Okay. And second option is P2, P3. And third option is P1, P2. And fourth option is none. So tell me the number here. What is the option? I'm giving you four options. So see the question again. So I am writing div space P. So what I am telling, select all P's which are descendants of div. So how many P's are there in your code which are descendants of div? How many P's are there in your code which are descendants of div? So where is div initially? This is the div, right? So inside this div, do you have any P as descendant? So is this P lying inside a div? So is this P a descendant of div? Is this P descendant of a div? No, right? It is not descendant. Descendant means whatever lies inside below to it. And I told one more thing. So descendant should be of next generation, right? Not of same generation. So can you see a line here? So suppose for div, this is one generation. For P, it is going one level inside. Can you see this? It's like a nested one. Can you see this? The P is nested to the div. But if you see P3, is it nested or on the same level of div? It's of same level, right? So can you call it as next generation? This P3? No, right? So what is my answer now? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Okay. So now if I refresh, so can you see? You're getting only for P1 and P2. Understood this part, everyone? Suppose if I write one more P here, P4 outside div. So will I get background for P4? No, right? Suppose if I write H1 here, I am adding 1. Will I get H1 as background red? Yes or no? Is H1 descendant of this div? Is this H1 descendant of this div? As it is descendant. But in the question, what did I say? I told select all descendants which are P tags, right? Did I told any H1 tag here? So will my H1 get background red now? So I am telling select all P's which are descendants of div, right? Will I get red now? Background red for heading? I will not get it, right? Because I'm selecting only P's. Suppose if I write div space H1. Now what will happen? Will I get background for P's? Will I get background for H1? What will I get? So now it will select all H1s which are descendants of div, right? So now it will select only H1 tag. Did you get this point, everyone? If I write some H3 here, I am heading 3. What is the background color of H3 now? Heading 3. What is the background? It is default, right? Will it come as red? Because you're selecting only H1 here, right? So we don't get any background for H3 here. Suppose now I have one more tag here. So there is one more tag known as span tag. Okay. So you'll see what span tag will do, but there is one more tag known as span tag. So inside this span tag, I will write one more P tag. Okay. I will write I am P5 inside span, which is inside Now I will give div space P. Now tell me, I'll give you a few more options. So first option is P1, P2, P3, P5. And second option is P1, P2, P3, P5. And third option is P1, P2, P5. And fourth option is none. So what is my answer now? So if I execute this code, so what all P's I will get background as red. See carefully. So it is select all P's which are descendants of this. Look at it carefully and tell me the answer. Tell me one thing. Is this P descendant of the div? Is this P descendant of the div? Yes or no? Is this P lying inside this div? Is this P descendant of the div? So now I'm select all P's which are descendants of div, right? So will it select this P, P5? Can you see that? Because this P is also descendant, right? Even if it is inside span, it is lying inside this div only, right? Whatever lies inside the div, it's a descendant. Understood this part, everyone? Span is some kind of a tag. So we'll see what is span while we do applications. Span is one kind of a tag. Suppose now if I write span space P, now tell me what is the answer. So I will give you options again. So first option is P1, P2, P3, P5. Second option is P5. Third option is P1, P2. Fourth option is none. So what is the answer now? So it is at all P's which are descendants of span now, not div. So now what is the answer? So where is our span tag in this code? Span tag is here. So inside span tag, do we have anything called p tag? Yes, we have. So we are giving whatever p tag lies inside the span tag, we are giving background color as red, right? So will you get background color as red for P1, P2 also? No, right? So now I'll get only for P5. Understood this point? Now can I give ID to it? So ID equal to container. So now instead of span, can I write ID container? Will my output change now? So ID container means it is selecting the span tag only, right? Is it similar to selecting the span tag directly? Right? So will it select container as span tag now? So will my output change or same? Same, right? No change. Now if I give div as some ID equal to parent. So now can I write parent and P? So what is the output now? How many P's I will get as background red? I'm writing parent P. So now it's at all P's which are descendants of ID parent. See carefully and tell me the answer. I'm getting wrong answer again. Tell me the answer now. So I will write first option is P1, P2, P5, P5, P1, P2, none. So what is my answer? Why 3? Someone is telling P1, P2. Why not P5? Is P5 not descendant of this ID parent? Is this P5 not descendant of ID parent? It is descendant, right? So why I will not get P5 here? Will I get P5 or not? For P5 also you'll get it, right? Because P5 is also descendant of this parent ID. So whatever piece you have inside this ID parent will get background color red, right? ID is changing. I'm not worrying about ID, right? I'm worrying about only this P tag. Do you agree with that? I'm not worrying about this ID. So I'm telling select all P's which are descendants of the parent. So I don't want whether there is some ID here or some class here. It doesn't matter, right? Class is equal to XYZ. Doesn't matter. Because you're selecting tag here, not ID. Are you getting my point? Okay, then now I will confuse you a bit. So now I will give you some ID. ID equal to second P. Okay. Now I'll write parent and second P. Now tell me what is my answer. I'll give you some options. So P1, P2, P5, P2, P5, and P3. Now what is my answer? What I'm telling now? So select all second P which are descendants of ID parent, right? Second P, select all ID second P which are descendants of ID parent. So inside ID parent, how many elements are there with ID as second P? Only one, right? So for which tag I will get ID background color red now? Only P2. Understood? So now it is worrying about ID because we mentioned the ID name specifically here. Suppose we give only P, what is happening? It is selecting all the P's. Understood the difference? It doesn't matter about IDs and classes anymore. It only checks for the tag names, whether you have whatever ID or class names you have. Clear about descendant selectors, everyone? So tell me one thing. So this P is how many generations down? This P5 is how many generations down for this ID, this div parent? This P is how many generations down? 4. Why 4? So what is the span for div? What is the span for div? What is this span for this div? Child, right? What is this P for this span? Child. So what is this P for the div? Is this grandchild or child? Grandchild or child? Grandchild, right? It's 2 generations down. If I separate this, so can you see? It is 2 generations down, right? Not only 1 generation. Can you see the difference? So now what is the difference between descendant and a child selector? What is the difference between descendant and a child? Just now I told. So Amitabh Bachchan is descendant of Harivansh Rai Bachchan, right? Amitabh Bachchan is descendant of Harivansh Rai Bachchan. And Abhishek Bachchan is also descendant of Harivansh Rai Bachchan. Do you agree? But is Abhishek Bachchan child of Harivansh Rai Bachchan? Is Abhishek Bachchan child of Harivansh Rai Bachchan? Child or grandchild? grandchild, right? So can you tell these things now? Descendants can be n generations down, right? How many generations can be? N generations down. Do you agree with this? And what about child? Child should be only one generation down. Understood? So for Abhishek Bachchan is grandchild of Harivansh Rai Bachchan, right? Abhishek Bachchan is grandchild of Harivansh Rai Bachchan. Aradhya Bachchan is grandchild of Harivansh Rai Bachchan. Understood the difference between a descendant and a child? So now we'll see what is descendant selector, child selector. So let's jump into code. So I'll comment these things out now. Okay, I'll tell the same example. Sorry. So I'll comment these things, or else I will write it here on self. So child selector. What is the symbol for child selector? I told. What is symbol? Greater than. Cool. So now I will remove this. So what is the syntax? So it is selector 1 greater than selector 2 greater than selector 3 and so on, right? You can give how many selectors you want. Now I will write, so see carefully, I will write div greater than p. I will write background color as teal. Now what it is telling now? Select all p's which are childs of div, right? Select all p's which are childs of div. So now tell me how many childs of div, how many childs are there which are p for div? I'll give you options again. So it is p1, p2, p5, and then p1, p2, p3, and then p1, p2. How many childs are there which are, how many p's are there which are childs of div? Child is only one generation down, remember that. Child is only one generation down. If I refresh the page, I'm getting for P1 and P2. So is P5 child of this div? Is this P5 child of this div? It is grandchild, right? Just now we discussed. So if I give space, what will happen? If I give instead of greater than, if I give space, what will happen? It will select all the P's, right? P1, P2, P5. But if I give greater than, it is selecting only the childs. Can you see that? It is selecting only the childs. So did you get the difference between child and descendant now? Child is only one generation down, but descendants can be n generations down. Suppose if I keep another P, I am P6. Now tell me, will I get P6 also background color as steel? Will I get P6 also background as steel? Yes or no? First, see one thing, whether this P is child of this parent or not. Well, this P is child of this div or not. See that thing once. If I refresh the page, you're getting for P6 also, right? Why you're getting for P6? Because this P6 is also child for this div, right? It is lying inside this div. Can you see that? Now if I write P I am P7. Will P7 get background teal? Yes or no? Is this P7 child of this div? Is this P7 child of this div? No, right? It is not child of the div. Do you agree with that, everyone? Now, can I write parent greater than P? Is there any difference in these two things? ID parent greater than P. Is there any difference now between these two things? Any change in my output? It is same, right? Cool. Now what I will do is I will do nested now. Okay. So what I will do is I will write parent greater than span greater than P. Now tell me what is the answer. So just go step by step. What parent greater than span will select? What parent greater than span will select? We'll select this span tag, right? Am I right? If I write only parent greater than span, what did select? It will select only span. Now I'm asking P inside this span. So now what my output will be? I'll give you options again. So P1, P2, P5, P1, P2, P3, P4, and P5. What is the option now? Understood, everyone? If I refresh the page, I will get only for P5 now. Why? I am selecting parent greater than span, which will select this span. And inside this, I am selecting span greater than P. So only P5 will get selected. Understood? Everyone. Now I will do one more thing. I will write body space P. And I will write background color pink. Now tell me what will happen. I'm writing body space P. So how many P's you have inside the body as descendants? All P's, right? So we'll get all P's as background pink. Now if I write body greater than P, now tell me answer. All P's or see carefully and tell me the answer. I want only childs now. I am selecting only childs. So select all P's which are childs of body. So inside body, what are the childs we have? We have one child as div. And is this piece a childs of body? Is this P1 and P2 child of body? It is two generations down, right? Not one generation. Can you see this? This is one generation. Second generation is grandchild, not child. Can you see that? This P is grandchild. And what is this P for this body? What is this P for body? It is grandchild, right? So now tell me the answer. Which piece I will get background as pink? Only these three P's, right? Because these are only childs. These P's are not child, these are grandchilds. If I refresh the page, can you see? Now if I write body greater than div greater than P. Now tell me the answer. This is very tricky. See it once and tell me the answer. I'll tell you answers. I'll tell you options here. P1, P2, P5, P1. Yeah, same options. P1, P2, P5, P1, P2, P3, P1, P2, P5. So just go step by step. So what body greater than div will select? What body greater than div will select? Will set entire div? Entire div, right? So it is in this div, we are searching for greater than P. So inside this div, how many P's are there which are childs? 3 P's, right? What are the 3 P's? P1, P2, and P6. Is P5 child of the div? It is grandchild, right? So will this P5 get background pink? Understood? So in this way, you can use nested things also. So we'll solve some examples also regarding this. So don't worry about this one. So someone is telling if there are multiple divs. Suppose if I have one more div and I will have one more P, I am P10. Now will I get background color as pink for this P10? It will work, right? Because we are searching for body greater than div. So now how many divs you have inside body which are childs? This is one div. This is second div, right? So both are childs and both have some P's inside that. So if I refresh, I will get P10 also pink. Now what if I select parent here? Now what will happen? So body greater than parent will select which one now? Body greater than parent will select only this div, right? Will it select this div now? It is select only the parent div. So now again P1, P2, P6 will get background color as pink. So you need to do some examples. I will give you one game at the end of the session. So if you play that game, you will get very confidence on combinators selectors. Okay. So there is one game regarding this. That game is very helpful for you to understand these combinators. Okay. I will give you at the end of the class. Remind me once. So now what is the next selector? General sibling selector. What is sibling? Who are siblings? Siblings are from same parent or different parent? Same parent, right? Okay. So siblings are from same parent. That is the first point. And next point is siblings are of same generation or next generation? Same generation. Okay. So we got the definition of sibling now. Now what do you mean by general? We call it general sibling, right? So what do you mean by general? General means all, right? So can you also call all sibling selectors instead of general sibling selector? Can you call all sibling selector? Okay. Now tell me, for Amitabh Bachchan, who is the general sibling? For Amitabh Bachchan, who is general sibling? General sibling. This guy, right? Amitabh Bachchan. Am I right? For Amitabh Bachchan, Amitabh Bachchan is general sibling. And who is the general sibling of Abhishek Bachchan? General sibling of Abhishek Bachchan. General sibling. Sibling are from same parent. We wrote that point. Siblings are from same parent. For Abhishek Bachchan, it is Shwetananda, right? Do you agree with this? For Aradhya Bachchan, who is general sibling? Aradhya Bachchan. No one, right? Aradhya is single child. She doesn't have any sibling. For Navya Naveli, Agastya Nanda is general sibling. Understood, everyone? Clear? About general sibling? So now tell me one thing. Suppose everyone you have, you means everyone. Suppose you have three siblings. Okay, maybe boy or girl. So there are three siblings. If someone comes to you and asks how many siblings you have, so what is the count you will tell? You have three siblings, and if someone comes to you and asks how many siblings you have, so what is the count you will tell? Your parent is having 4 childs, but you are having 3 siblings. If someone comes to you and asks how many siblings you have, so what is the count you will tell? 2 or 3? Three, right? Not 2. If someone comes to Amitabh Bachchan and asks how many siblings you have, will he tell 2 or 1? If someone comes to Amitabh Bachchan and asks how many siblings does you have, so will he tell 2 or 1? Will he count himself? He won't count himself, right? Okay, remember that thing. I will relate this to code now. Okay, so let's go into code. I'll create one more here. So ignore about this meta tags, and I will write P. I will write P1, P2, P3, and I will write a 2. Inside this, I will write P. Okay, so I'll copy path and I will paste it. Cool. So now what is the symbol for general sibling? What is the symbol for general sibling? It is tilde, right? Okay. So I can write selector 1 tilde, selector 2 tilde, selector 3 tilde, and so on. Right? So now tell me, for this P1, how many general siblings P1 has? How many general siblings P1 has? And one more thing is, you should count the number of general siblings always from top to bottom. You should count general siblings always from top to bottom. Okay. You should not count if you are at P2, you can't count P1. So for P2, how many general siblings P2 has? General siblings, I'm telling you should count only below it, not above it. You can call it as youngest sibling, not eldest sibling. Okay, it is youngest sibling, not eldest sibling. So how many youngest siblings P2 has? Okay. So now I will write one thing here, P1 tilde P2, and I will write background color as teal. Now tell me what all, sorry, P1 tilde P1, sorry, P tilde. I'm writing, okay, so I'll give some ID to it, ID equal to para. So I'll write para tilde P. So tell me what is the output I will get now? So I am, what is this mean? Select all general siblings, select all p's which are general siblings of para. Am I right? Select all p's which are general siblings of para. So how many general siblings does this para has? One or two? How many general siblings does this ID para has? So will you select P1 also? P1 is reference for you, right? P1 is a reference. I told you if someone comes to Amitabh Bachchan and asks how many siblings you have, will he tell one or two? One, right? So what is the output now? Will I get output for all P's or P2, P1, P2, P3 or P2, P3 or P3? Both P2, P3, right? Understood this point, everyone? Suppose if I have one more P, P4 and one more P, P5 and one more P, P6. And for this P, I will give ID equal to third. Now, what is the output for me? What is the output for me? Same or any change? Same. Select all P's which are general siblings of para. So how many general siblings are there for this para? Is this P2 general sibling of para? P3 also general sibling? Is this P4 general sibling of para? Yes or no? Whoever is telling no, what is the reason? Why you are thinking it is no? Why it is no? Different class? I am selecting the para here. I'm selecting the P tag here. I'm not worrying about this ID. I am selecting only P tag here. I don't worry about the ID. I given just ID to confuse you. I'm selecting only P here, not IDs. I'm selecting all P's which are general siblings of para. Not even the answer. What is the answer? All P's except P4 or except P1 and P4. Can I tell like that? If I refresh, can you see? Understood, everyone? Now, what if I write the ID name here? Now, what is the answer? Select all P's, select all, not all P's, select third, which are general siblings of para. So what is the output now? P4, right? Only P4. Now I will do one more thing here. I will select P, but now in this case, I will write third. Now tell me what is the answer. Now your reference is third. You should see from top to bottom. Remember that. You should see from top to bottom. Now select all P's. Select all P's which are general siblings of third now, not para. So how many general siblings you have for this third, ID third? 2, right? So what paragraph you select now? P5, P6, right? Only P5, P6. What if I write another P here? P10. Will this P10 get background color as steel? No or yes? See carefully. Is this P sibling of this third, ID third? It is of same generation, right? Can you see? You'll get for P10 also, right? Because it's also of same generation. Understood, everyone? So someone is asking third and para. What will happen now? Is para general sibling of third? Doesn't give anything, right? Default. Para is the eldest sibling, not youngest. You should see only from top to bottom. Now I will remove, I will keep it like this. Now what do you mean by adjacent? What do you mean by adjacent? Not symbol. I'm asking what do you mean by adjacent? General English meaning. Immediate, right? Immediate, not next, not nearby. It is immediate. So now tell me for this third P, if I'm giving third P, I'm getting P5, P6, P10, right? So what is the immediate sibling of this third P? What is the immediate sibling here for third? For third, what is the adjacent sibling? P5, right? So if I give plus P, now what will happen? How many P's I will get background color as red? Now I'm using plus. Plus is adjacent sibling. So whenever you give plus, you will select only one item. You should remember that. So now tell me how many P's are there which are adjacent to this third? Only see from top to bottom, not to the top. Only see the bottom ones. How many P's are there which is next to this P4 or this third? Only one, right? So what is the orbital get? Only P5. If I write para plus P, now what will happen? So how many P's are there which are next to this para, immediate next? Only P2, right? So if I refresh, I'll get only P2. So now can I combine child selector and adjacent selector or child selector or sibling selectors? Can I combine those things also? There are so many combinations, right? Let's suppose if I write body greater than para plus P. So now what the output will be? I'm writing body greater than para plus P. Tell me the output now. What is body greater than para? Which page tag will select? Body greater than para. P1, right? So it is similar to P1. So P1 plus P, what is the immediate sibling of P? P1. P2, right? So output is same, right? No difference. If I write body greater than div plus P, now tell me the answer. Body greater than div plus P. Go step by step. What body greater than div will give? What body greater than div will give? I'll open the div also if you want. What body greater than div will give you? This entire div, right? Not P4. I'm catching only div, not P inside there. So I'm catching body greater than div with this entire div. Does this div has any sibling as P? Adjacent sibling as P? No. Is this div and P are siblings or not? Is this div and P are siblings? No or yes? It's of same level, right? So now I'll get only for P10. If I write body greater than P plus div greater than P, now tell me the answer. I'm giving nested by nested. See carefully and tell me the answer. So go step by step. So what body greater than P will select? Go step by step. What body greater than P will select? All P's, right? Whatever P's are there, all P's. Will you agree with that? Body greater than P will select all the P's. This P's and this P. Do you agree with that? And for all these P's, which P has adjacent div as sibling? For all these P's, which P as adjacent sibling as div? This P6, do you agree with this? This P6 only as adjacent sibling as div, right? So inside the div, you're catching this P. Understood? So now if I refresh, I'll get only for P4. Clear, everyone? I'm repeating again. So what body greater than P will do? What body greater than P will select? We select all P's, right? Can you tell all P's here? I'm just writing, it is not syntax. We select all P's. Okay. And you are checking all P's plus div. Among all these P's, which P as adjacent sibling as div? Among all these P's, which P as adjacent sibling as div? P6, do you agree with that? Do you agree with that, everyone? So is it similar like writing div greater than P now? Is this similar like writing div greater than P? Understood? So body greater than P plus div will select this div, right? And inside this div, you are selecting the child of P. Does this div as child of P? So now it will go to P. So now P4 you will get background color as teal. So there are so many combinations here you can have. So you should try all those combinations by yourself. Then you will get some understanding. Now I'll tell one more tricky case here. One more tricky case. So I will write P plus P. Now tell me the answer. See carefully and tell me the answer. This is very tricky. No one has told right answer until now. Two answers are right. Three answers. 4, 5. I'll give you options also. I'll give you options. Option is P1. First option is P1. Second option is P2, P3. Third option is all P's except P1. The fourth option is none. So I'll show you the output also and see how it is getting all P's except P1. Tell me how it is getting. So I am telling, so if I write only P, will set all the P's. If I write only P, it will give all P's, right? Okay, cool. So now I am telling P plus P. So now what will select for every P, for each and every P, it will search for adjacent sibling P, right? So this P has any adjacent sibling P? P2. So it will go to P2 now. So this P has any adjacent sibling P? P again. And this P again. So did you get it? How each and everything is selecting now except P1? This is some edge case. Very tricky case. Okay. Okay, take break of 5 minutes. When we come back, we'll see other selectors, other combinators. Take break of 5 minutes. So now we'll see one more kind of selector. So this one kind of selector is known as attribute selector. So what do you mean by attribute? So what is the attribute for image tag? SRC. What is the attribute for input tags? Input attribute for input tag. Number. Type, right? Type is equal to number. What are other types you have for input? Type is equal to text is default, password, and email. Okay. So the syntax for attribute selector is, so you need to write the attribute tag, okay, and or not attribute tag, it is tag name. So you should write the tag name and you should use two values here. Attribute name equal to value. Okay, so you should write something like this. So the tag name, this is the syntax for general syntax. So you should write tag name, and inside this tag name you should write square braces. This square brace should have key value pair. Key is attribute name and value is value of the attribute. So now what is the tag name I want to use here? So I want to use input is the tag name, right? So I want to select input type is equal to text. Okay. So what I will write type is equal to text. And for this, so I'll refresh my page once. And for this, I will write background color as yellow. Now let's refresh our page. So what is that? What is if you have so many input tags, so why you're getting only for text input tag as background color yellow? Because in CSS, we are selecting type is equal to text only, right? Understood? So this is the tag name and attribute name equal to value. So attribute name is type and we want only for type text, I want background yellow. Understood this part, everyone? If I keep one more thing, input type is equal to email and I'll keep background color as red. Now tell me for which input tag I will get background color as red. For which input tag I will get background color as red. Last one, right? And I will write one more thing. Input type is equal to password and background color pink. Now will I get for input type password, will I get background pink? So in this way, you can select tags based on attributes. So this is one kind of method. You can also give IDs and do it, right? You can also give IDs and do it, but this is one kind of method you can use whenever you want based on application. Okay, it is not that for every input you should use this type of method, but we are telling the different types of selecting. So you can use whatever selector you want in that. It's a good practices. Instead of using IDs and classes, this is a good practice. So can you use only for input tag or whatever tag you want? You can only use for input tags or whatever tag you want. Any tag, right? Suppose I have an anchor tag here. Okay. What is the attribute for anchor tag? src. Okay, src is equal to www.google.com. And I will give one more anchor tag and I will write Masai and www.masaischool.com. So now if I refresh my page, I will get some colors to it. Okay. Now what? Sorry, it is href, right? Not ss. Someone told ss. Okay, Google. So now I'm getting some blue color here. So I want to change back color of this Google. So can I use attribute selector now? So what is the syntax again? What is the tag I want to use here in this case? Tag is anchor tag. And what is the attribute name? Href. And what is the value? So I want that only Google now. So can I give this entire href here? And if I write color as pink. Now will I get color pink for Google? Can you see that? If I want for Masai school, what should I do? Just copy this. Okay, it is wrong. Copy this and then paste it here. So you'll get for Masai school. Understood? So whatever tags you have attributes, you can use this attribute selector. Okay, it is lengthy, but you should try to use this whenever you in application you want this. Clear? Cool. So next we'll see something known as pseudo classes. Okay. So we'll have something known as pseudo classes and pseudo elements. So we'll see what are these things. Okay. Suppose if I have some, if I have some 10 p tags. Okay. So I'll write p1, p2, p3, P4, P5, P7, P8, P9, P10. Now I want to select fifth P. So how can I select fifth P inside this? Guys, no need to remember all these things. So you can refer to notes. Don't by heart all these things. Okay. So you have notes in place. So everything is there in the notes. So you can just refer to the notes. Suppose I want to select this fifth P. So how can I select the fifth P? In the exam also, yes. Fifth P. So someone is telling give ID. It is very easy. So I can give ID, but I don't want to use any ID. So how can I select now? I don't want to use any classes or IDs. So there is one thing called as nth child. Okay. So we'll see how to get this nth child. So if I write body greater than P, we'll set all the P's now. If I write body greater than P, I will write some background color teal. Will you select all the P's? It's child commenter, right? So whatever is there inside this as child, you select. But I want only the fifth child now. So how can I do that? So there is something called as nth child. Nth child. And inside this, you need to pass what child you want. So in this case, which child you want? So there are how many childs inside this? 10 child, right? So which child you want now? Fifth child. So if I give 5, I'll get only for 5 now. Can you see that? So body greater than P will give all P's, but I want only fifth child inside this, not all the childs. Can I write 8 now? If I write 8, which P I will get background teal now? Can you tell me? P8, right? If I write 1, I get for P1. Can you write 1, 2, 3 like this? Can you write? It is throwing some error. Can you see? It's throwing some red line. So this nth child will accept only one argument. It won't accept 3. Understood? So if you want for 3 also, then you need to use one more set. I'll tell you how to use that. So now if I give even, so what will happen now? All even childs, right? So P2, P4, P6, P8, P10. If I give odd, all odd childs now. If I give prime, will this work? It won't work. So for prime, it won't work. It will only work for even and odd. Okay. So instead of writing for selecting first child, instead of writing nth child as 1, there is one more thing known as first child. Okay. So this is same as selecting the first child. So if I refresh, I'll get the same output. If I want to set the last child, I can write last at this place. Understood? Suppose if I want 1 and 4, so I will write nth child of 1, and again I will write nth child of 4. Now will I will get both 1 and 4. But I am repeating the same property, right? Am I repeating the same property here? So what can I do? Instead of writing this 2 times, I can simply cut it and keep a comma here and paste it here. This is known as comma selector. Okay. Instead of writing 2 times, just keep a comma and then write whatever you want. If I want for 7 also, so what should I write? Comma and 7. Understood? So you can write like in this fashion, separated by comma. So now you'll get P1, P4, and P7 also. Clear about these pseudo classes? So don't try to by heart all these things. So whenever you get stuck, go to documentation and check it. Okay, don't try to by heart all these things. Now there is something known as pseudo elements. So you will use it very rarely, but you should know these things also. By heart means what do you tell in English? Sorry, in Hindi. I don't know. Ratta, yeah. Ratta marna. So there is something known as pseudo elements. So these are some extra properties that CSS will provide you. So using this, you can do something. Suppose if I write some paragraph and I'll write some lorem ipsum text, lorem into 10. Okay, some dummy text I'm writing. So if you see newspapers and all, did you ever see this first paragraph, first letter as large letter, L as large letter? Did you ever see that in newspapers? This first letter will be very large, right? So you can achieve this using pseudo elements. So for that, you need to write something right style. For pseudo classes, how many columns we give? How many columns we are given for pseudo classes? How many columns? Only single column, right? But for pseudo elements, you need to give double columns. So here I want for P, whenever you write double colon, that means you're selecting pseudo elements. Okay. And there is one thing called as before or not before, P first letter. So if I write first letter and I will write font size as 40 pixel. Now if I refresh my page, can you see first letter as 40 pixel? So it is selecting P, and inside this P, whatever first letter it has, it is giving font size of 40. Instead of letter, if I write line, what will happen now? Instead of letter, I'm writing line, first line. Will I get entire first line as font size 40? Can you see that? So there is a few more things for this called as after and before. So there is something called as after. So before this paragraph, if you want to give some content, okay, I'm refreshing it. Before this L, I want to add some content. So I can give P before, so first before, and then you should write some content in form of strings. I'm writing content, I'm writing hi. So now before this P, before this P, before this L, I will get hi. Can you see that? I can give whatever I want. I also give symbols for this. Okay, so I can use some symbols. Similarly for after, what will happen for after? It will come after your paragraph, right? At the end of the paragraph. If I refresh, can you see? This is for any tag. You can write whatever tag you want. This is some tag name. You can write whatever tag you want. Suppose if I give it as H1, you can write for H1 directly. Okay, whatever tag you want, you can write it. You can't do in between. This emoji is, I think, MacBook inbuilt. So for Windows, you have some commands for this. I'm not sure how to do that. You can search in Google once. I think there will be some extensions for that. Window plus dot. Someone is telling. What is MacBook? MacBook is a kind of soft laptop like Lenovo. Okay. So now let's jump into V session quickly. So I'm giving you 5 minutes of time. Open question of V session and read the entire question. After reading, type one in the chat box. Okay. Go to V session question and read the entire question. See each and every instruction given. So read the entire question, read the each and every instruction given. So it is like your mock evaluation question. Okay. So you can expect same kind of question in evaluations, mean same kind of instructions and same kind of layouts and evaluations. So please read the entire instructions. I'm giving you 5 minutes. Deadline is 4:42. Okay. Read the question, everyone. Open your LMS and read the question. Not from my laptop. Open your LMS and read the question. Which state do you belong? India. No need for paid account. You can just log in and upload your assignments. And I'm seeing so many messages saying that your Netlify is not working. If you're uploading your assignments, the file name should be index.html. Okay. If you're uploading your assignments, make sure your file name is index.html. If you're not giving index.html, it will not deploy correctly. Make sure the file name is index.html. If else, or else it won't work. It will work without also, but you should give slash your file name. Don't use free account, guys. If you're using free account, you will get 0 in evaluations. I'm saying you, if you're using free account, you'll get 0 in evaluations because the link will expire in 2 hours. Free account means logged in account. You should log in and then you should do that. Okay. So you should, without logging in, you should not deploy anything. Free account means start building for free, not for free price. Free means without logging in. Sign up, log in, and then deploy the website. Okay. So it doesn't cost you anything for signing up. It is free. Cool. So let's download this zip file. So I will download it and I will open this folder with VS Code. So I will just drag and drop it. Okay, so here I am seeing two folders. First one is two files, index, and second one is some image.txt. In this text file, I provide all the images links which are needed for this image for your website. Okay, so first read the instructions. So you should follow strictly IDs and class names. You should not change it, and you should use flex and box model. And following the exact HTML IDs and class is mandatory. And you should not add any additional classes or IDs. You should manage only with combinators. Okay. So if I'm opening this file, you should not add any other class names or IDs to any other thing. Suppose if I'm telling the first team members as 4 children, you should not write class for each and every div. So you should not create any more classes or any more IDs other than given in the question. That is very hard rule. Okay. And your layout should look something like this. So it should look something like this. So it has some 3 sections: top section, a middle section, and bottom section. And for images, I also given some rules here. So if you see the rules, so for the top one, you should give h1 tag, p tag, and for this h2 tag, p tag. And again, for all these things, h1 and p, h1 and p, and h2 and p. Okay. I've given all the rules here for what tags we need to use. And next, I told not to use any inline styles. You should not use any inline styles, just use combinators. Clear everyone about the question? Any doubts in the question? So now how many, so in the template, can you see, I'm given a class. So your template will look like something like this. Copy path and paste it. So this heading is there. So you should build this template from this template. Okay. So the first heading is there, meet our expert members. So you should make some styling to it and bring it to the center. And then we have some paragraph. And below this, can visualize how many divs are there here for the top section. So this is one parent, right? Inside parent, how many child divs you have? 4 child divs, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So what is the idea given in the question for this? For the first section, top section? Is my voice breaking? Okay. So if you see for the top section, what is the parent here? Parent is team members, right? So this team member should contain how many divs? This team members should contain how many divs? 4 divs. So can you see this here? This section should contain 4 children divs, and each div should have what? Each div should have? Each div should have an image, h2 tag, and p tag. Clear this step, everyone? So how many divs you should have? 4 child divs, 4 children divs. So 1, 2, 3, 4. How many children divs you have now? 4 children divs, and each div should have image tag, h2 tag, and p tag. Now first try to solve this heading one. So I want this heading to be, I want the entire thing to be center aligned. Now it is left aligned. So what can I do for that? I want the entire thing to be center aligned, but it is left aligned now. So how can I build that? Text align center. So how can I give text align center? Shall I give it to H1 and P separately, or can I give it to heading directly? I given a div for this and the div class is heading. So shall I give H1 and P separately, or can I give for heading directly? So I can give directly, right? So dot heading. So can I give text align center? So now if I go to my page, refresh, can you see for these both the things to get center? Why is getting center for both the things, both the headings? Because for bottom part also I given same class name. Can you see that? For the bottom section also I given the same class name. So that's why if you are writing for heading, it's applying for both the sections. You should not change this class names. You should not write heading 1, 2, 3. You should keep only heading. I will show you what will happen if you change the class names. I will run some test cases also at the end. Clear this first step, everyone? Okay. So now build these team members. We'll try to build the team members. So I will write team members. So I will give some, what is the width of my team members? So it is taking entire width or not? It is not taking entire width, right? So I'll give around 80%. So width is 80%. And what is the height I should give initially? Can I give in some pixels? Some 400 pixel. And I'll give some border for it to visualize. Border 1 pixel, solid red. So now if I will make it side by side. If I go to my output, can you see a box here? I want to make this box to the center. So what should I do? I want this box to be centered. So margin is auto. Okay. Margin as auto. So now I will get this box to be centered. So inside this box, how many child boxes you want? You want 4 child boxes, right? Something like this. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm dividing into 4 parts. So what is the width of each and every part? Each and every div? 23%. So now in yesterday assignment, what did we do? We gave class to each and everything, right? Class is equal to box, class is equal to box. But in today's session, you should not do this. Okay. You should use combinators. You should not write any class names. No additional class names are allowed apart from the given class names. So how can I select all these divs? How can I select all these divs? Tell me, what is the combinator I can use? Can I use descendant? Okay, let's suppose if I use team members space div. Now what happens if I have one more div inside this? For suppose if inside another is this child div, I have one more div. So if I give descendant, will this selected? Will this get selected? So is this recommended for you for using a descendant selector? So instead of this, what can you use? I want to select only these 4 child divs. I don't want anything else. Can I use greater than now in this case? Can I use greater than? Now, even if you have one more div inside this, will it affect your code? No, right? So that's why your child selector is very useful. So now what is the width of each and every div? Around 23% maybe, because I want 4 divs, right? And what is the height I want? 100%. And I'll use some border 1 pixel solid teal. So now if I refresh, so you're getting divs, but you're getting down by down. So what we need to use here? We need to use display flex also. Inside this div or parent div? Where should I write? Inside parent, right? So go to parent and write display flex. So now if I refresh, I'm getting these things. But I want some margin between these boxes. So how can I get the margin? Margin auto for all child boxes. So margin auto. So if I refresh, I'm getting margin like this. So inside each div, what do we have? We have an image. So I will build for one image now. Image. And what is the next thing? Image H2 and P. So I will write H2 and I will write P. So I given the image also here. For image one, you can copy this. So I can use whatever image you want, not in a to use same image also. And for H2, I will use Ethel Davis. And for P, managing director sales. Director sales. Okay. So now if I refresh, so I'm getting something like this. But my image is not fitting to my box. So what should I do in this case? Image is less than the box size. So I need to give with 100%. So shall I give a class name? If you are giving this class names, you will not get marks. I'm telling you. You should select using combinators. So how can I select this image now using combinators? Tell me. How can I select images using combinators? Div greater than image. So I will tell you what happens if I write div greater than image. So if I write div greater than image, so for the bottom part, for the bottom parts, do I have image here also for div? So will this affect this div also? So for the bottom part also I have 3 divs, and for each div I have an image, right? So will this affect here also if I write div greater than image? So that will not work. It will affect my other code also. So what should I do in this case? I should not call by this div. So can I go nested like nested div now? So I will go to team members. So what I will do, I will write team members greater than div greater than image. Now what will happen? Now what will happen? So what is team members greater than div? It will go to the same div, right? This div. If I write team members greater than div, will it affect my other code also at the third point? No, right? So team members greater than div greater than image. So whenever you're writing combinators, go from parent only. Don't directly write the own thing. So go from parent. What is the parent? Team members greater than div greater than image. Understood? So now for this, what do I want? Width as 100%. So I'm getting entire width now. Now I want this, why it is coming out of the box? Why these two coming out of the box? Height is fixed, right? So I'll remove the height. I'll keep it as auto. So it will take the content height. Okay. So now I want these two things to be center aligned. So what can I do? So I want these two H2 and P to be center aligned. So I need to give text align center. Where I need to give? Can I give to the parent div itself directly? Can I give to the parent div? So where is this parent div? Can I give inside this? Text align center. Okay, now I'll get the center. Cool. So now can I copy paste the entire things now? Can I copy paste it? This image H2 and P. So I'll copy this and I will paste it. So if I refresh my page, I get the layout. So top layout. So I can remove the borders also now. Guys, one more thing is this pic is taken by zooming out. Okay. So this pic is not something like this. It is like scrollable thing, but I took it as by zooming it out something. So that's why it came in single page. Okay. Don't try to build the layout in single page like this. It will not come. It will not look good. I took the entire page screenshot. That's why it is coming like that. Okay. So now is the top section completed for you? Top section is done, right? Now let's go to medium section. So inside medium section, how can you build this? So you can have one complete div here. Inside this, how many boxes you want? 5 boxes, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you see the template, so I given these things. So I given a div here, medium section. So this section should contain 5 children divs, and each div should have H1 and P. Understood? How many children divs I should have? 5 children divs. And each div should have, what should I have? H1 and P. So I will write H1 and I will write P. So I will copy this 101 projects completed. Okay, I'll show in boxes first, then I will write it. Okay. So this is team stats. ID is team stats. So I will build this team stats now. Hashtag team stats. So what is the width I want for this team stats? Do I need the entire width of the screen? Right. So I will take width as 100%. And what is the height I want? Can I take some 200 pixel height? And I'll take some background color as yellow because it has some background color, right? So I will take some darker yellow, something like this. So now I will get something like this. I can also give some margin top to it because it is very near. So I'll give some margin top after this. Margin top 40 pixels. And I refresh it. Cool. So now inside this yellow box, how many child divs I have? I have 5 child divs. So what should each and every div width should be? What is the width of each and every div? Around 20%, but for margin, I will give around 18%. So how can I select all the divs at once? Shall I give class names again? Which selector I need to use? Which commenter I need to use? Child commenter, right? So can I write slash team stats greater than div? Can I write like this? So what is the width of each and every div? I want 5 divs. I want 5 divs. So 100 divided by 5, 20. But for padding margin, I'll give around 18%. And what is the height I need to give? Height 100%. And I will give some border to make it look to you. So solid red. So now if I refresh, I'm getting down by down again. So what should I do? Display flex for the parent. So display is flex. And to get equal margins, margin as auto. So now if I refresh my page, I'm getting something like this. So now can I fill in the matter now? So I can fill in the matter which has some H2 tag, sorry, H1 tag, and then a P tag. So H1 tag 101 projects completed. Oh, 101 and projects completed. Okay. So command X and So getting something like this. So what can I do now? I want to get it to center. So what should I do? Text align center for, shall I give it to the div or H1 and P? I can give to the div, right? So text align center. So now you're getting something like this. Is this the required output? You want to be centered, right? Centered both horizontal and vertically. So what can be done here? Can I use padding here? I want to give space between this 101 and margin and border. So what is this? This is like garden, right? It's like garden. So what should I use here? Padding or margin? Padding, right? So what padding I want? Padding top. So I will write uh, padding top of, I write 20 pixel. Let's see if it's working or not. Is it working? Can I remove the borders now? Because of border, it's looking something like this. I'll remove the border now. So is it okay? You can also increase much. You can also 22 pixel. Can keep 25 pixel. Can keep like this. Is it okay now? But this method is not recommended. So instead of this, what can be done? Can you tell me instead of this, what can be done? Not padding auto and all. Because why this is happening initially? Because we have fixed the height, right? So we should not fix the height, keep it as auto and remove this padding now. So now what will happen if I see my output? It will be only to the content, right? Height will be only to the content. Can you see that? Now can I use padding top and padding bottom equal values to get it centered? Now if I use padding and if I use 20 pixel, 0 pixel, 20 pixel, 0 pixel, what will happen now in this case? Top and bottom is 20, right and left is 0. Now if I refresh my page, is it okay now? Is it looking good now instead of previous thing? So never fix the height and manage from padding. Now I can copy paste these things to the other divs also. So copy, paste, 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 paste. I'm giving the same text now because you can change the text if you want. Done. Medium section. Cool. So now what is the last part that is left? Bottom section. So bottom section, you have some H2 tag and P. Can you see this section and this section similar to each other? Except the number of divs, everything is similar, right? Can you see that? Except the number of divs, everything is same or not? At the top section, we have 4 divs, but bottom section, how many divs you have? 3 divs. So what can I do is, I will write div into 3. And what each div has? Each div has an image tag. So I can copy the image from here. What is this image here? Yeah, I can copy this. And I have some H2. H2 is building drawings. And then T is some lorem ipsum text. Let me copy this again. Or else, shall I show you the boxes first? Okay, we'll follow the 4 boxes only. So for these cards, what is the height I want? What is the width I want? What is the width I want? Same as the top width, same as the first top section width. Same as top section width, right? For the cards. So what is the width we are given for top section? 80. So what about the height? Can you keep it as auto? Can you simply keep team members, comma cards like this instead of writing the same properties again? Because all the properties we want, right? We want display flex, we want margin auto, we want height auto, we want width as 80%. Can you keep like this? Instead of writing one more tag here. Now for cards greater than div, what is the width you want for each and every div? You want two divs now. So can you 30%? And I will give you some height as 100%. And what else I want? Text align center, right? So text align center. So now can I fill this matter? So I copied the previous thing. Now let's see you're getting the output or not. So you're getting it image h2 and p. Why you're getting like this? I think it should be inside a div, right? Sorry, my bad. This should be inside a div. Yeah. Sorry, getting the first thing now. Can I copy for remaining things also? I'm reusing my code. Whatever I'm doing, I'm reusing my code. Did you get the output? I'm just using my top section code here. I'm not doing anything else. Clear, everyone? Last part didn't understand. Okay, I will redo the last part again from the basics then. So I will. So how many divs you have inside this? Inside the last section, how many divs you want? You want 3 divs, right? So I'll keep 3 divs and see command. Okay. And also remove cards here. I'll keep it separately for now and I will show it how to use. I'll remove this also. So what is the width you want for cards now? What is the width you want? You want only 80% of width, right? Can you see? Same as the top section. So I will write width as 80%. And what is the height I want? I'll keep some random height, some 400 pixel. And I'll keep some border, 1 pixel solid red. Now let's see the output ones. Sorry, getting this? So I want this center. So what should I do? Again, margin as auto. Right? So now if I refresh, I'm getting this. Clear this part, everyone? Now inside this box, how many child boxes we want? 3 boxes, right? So what is the width of each and every box? How to select all the boxes inside this card? Using child selector, right? So I will write hashtag cards greater than div. What is the width? I give 30% to give some margin and I'll give height as 100%. Okay, and then I'll give some border 1 pixel solid teal. So now if I refresh, I'm getting down by down. So what should I do? Display flex to the parent. So I will write display flex. So now I want some margin. So again, same story, margin auto for all the childs. Margin auto. So did you get the layout now? Overall outer layout. Now inside this, what do you want? You want an image, H2 and P, right? So I already have that. So I'm just pasting it. Oh, I removed that. Okay. So I'll write image, H2, and then P. So I'll copy this image now. H2, what is H2? Building drawings. And some lorem ipsum text. Okay. So this is some lorem ipsum text. If I refresh, so I'm getting something like this. Okay. So what is the next thing I want here? I want everything to be center aligned, right? So I can just go to card section again and give, wait, where should I go? This section or this section? Cards or cards greater than div? Child, right? So text align center. So now if I refresh, so I get all the things to the center. So now can I keep height as auto? Initially I get 400 pixel. Now can I keep height auto? So now I'm getting the required height. Can I copy this now to remaining sections? Image H2 and P, copy and paste it. And paste it. Got this? You can also give some margin top to it. So I can go to cards and you can give some margin top to it. Margin top around 50 pixels. I can remove the borders now. So if I refresh, I'm getting it. Understood now? Bottom section, everyone. Now we need to deploy this website, right? So how can we deploy this? So go to Netlify and log in to Netlify. And what do you need to select? Deploy manually. And I can browse, go to downloads, and this one, combinators. Is this the one? I guess. So upload it and upload. Color of H1 we can give it, so no need to worry about that. So if I open, can you see I'm getting the deployed app now. So now I will tell you few things. So if you're not following the instructions given in the question, I will tell you how your marks will be varied. I will tell you about game also. So I will show you some test cases now. So don't worry about what I am showing. So I will open one thing. So give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute, guys. I need to run some test cases. Can you see my screen, everyone? Can you see I'm running some test cases here? Can you see will all my test cases have passed here? All check marks. Right is Cypress. So now if I go to my marks, so don't worry about how you are getting these marks and all. I will show you the total final marks. So what are the final marks you're getting? You're getting around 9 marks. So 9 is the maximum marks. Now it is 10, before it is 9. So now what I will do is I will change few things. Okay. So instead of, give me 1 second. So in our code, instead of H1, or instead of, I will change the heading name. I'll change the class of the heading. I'm getting 1, 2, 3 now. I'm giving 1, 2, 3. I'm changing the class name now. Okay. So now let's see how your test cases are working. Sorry, I should not. 1 second, 1 second. Should not use deploy link here. Give me 1 second, guys. Just give me 1 second. Okay, cool. So now I am changing the heading to 1, 2, 3, and I am refreshing my page. Why it is not taking? Okay, I'm changing here also 1, 2, 3. Why it is taking 1 second? No, I'm using live server, so I'm applying again the live server thing here. Why if I'm not giving also it is working? Heading 1, 2, 3. I'll also change this heading name here. Here is the bottom heading. Heading 1, 2, 3. It is changing here. Yeah. So now can you see the test cases is running? So can you see it is failing now? First test case. The texture element is not centered now. So that's why you're getting 7 marks. Can you see that? What happens if you're changing the class name here, heading? Suppose I'm also, instead of creating 5 children divs, I'm creating one more div here. And instead of creating 5, I'm creating 6 now. Now let's see how it is working now. So first test case will fail because we didn't give any heading. So can you see for middle section, we gave one extra div. So what happened here? The test case got failed again. So how many marks you got now? 6 marks. Okay. And for bottom section also, I've given one more extra div. Instead of 3 divs, I've given 4 divs. So now what will happen? If I refresh my page, I will get failed for this bottom section also now. You can see that. For the bottom section, flex length, it will get failed. Can you see that? Flex length in bottom section, it is searching for 3, but how much it has got length? What is the length of the div? 4, right? But it got 4. Actual length is 3, but it got 4. So that's why it is getting failed. So again, you got some score here. Okay. So you should not change anything in the given template. Just follow the given template. Suppose if you're not using display flex for anything, for one layout, so again, it will fail. Because these layouts are not getting side by side, right? Getting top by bottom. So again, it will get failed. One test case will get failed. Font size and colors, you can give whatever you want until and unless that was asking the question. So in this question, did I mention about any font size and any font size? I told about only font names, right? H2 and P, H1 and P. So don't worry about font size. You should just write the tag names, same as it is. Understood? Okay, so this is a general understanding of how test case will working. So you should not change anything in the template. So make sure you're not changing anything in the template. You can change the text. Text you can give whatever you want. I'm not testing the text and then images. Now there is one game known as CSS Diner. So if you play this game, then you will get good understanding of combinators and all those things. I'll play some levels of it. So this game is generally for getting hang of combinators and selectors. So it will also give some hints here. So can you see hint here? What is the hint it was telling? Select elements by their type. Type means tag selector, right? So here it is telling select the plates. So this is a plate tag and this is a plate tag. So how can I select both the plates now? By using tag selector. Nazir, you can't check your test cases. It's not like DSA. You can't run it in local system. We will run it and we'll send the score. How can I select both the plates here? By using tag selector. Here plate is a tag here. Plate is one tag here. How can I select both the plates? Why no one is answering? By using type selector, tag selector. Can I just write plate? No need to write curly braces, is already written here curly braces. So no need to write curly braces, is already there. So now if I type enter, I pass it the level. You should not use table greater than plate because in the previous level it's asked only to use type selector. Okay. If you use dot table greater than plate, it will fail because it is asking only for type selector. Now see the next one. Select elements by the type only. This is also type. So you should select bento boxes now. Whatever boxes are dancing, you should select those. So I need to select both this bento. How can I select this? Can I give bento directly? Enter. It got passed. Now it is asking to select the fancy plate by using ID selector. So what is the ID for this fancy plate? Can you see the ID here somewhere? It's fancy, right? So I will write fancy, fancy and enter. It got passed. So in the next level, it was asking to select using descendant selector. So it is asking to select the apple inside the plate. Can you see this? It was asking for selecting the apple inside the plate. So how can I select this? There was an apple. This apple is inside this plate. So can I write plate space apple because I want to use descendant selector here. So enter, pass the level. Now in this case, I want to use combination of descendant and ID selector. I want to select this tablet now or pickle. So how can I select the pickle? By using combination of ID and tag. So I want to select this pickle. How can I select this pickle? So this is what you want to select by using ID and tag. So can I use fancy and pickle? Can I use it? If I enter, test case got passed. Okay. So in this way, there are so many levels here, around 32 levels. So you should try all these levels. If you try all these levels, you'll get good understanding of these combinators. Okay. This is very important for you to get basis of combinators. I'll give you games for all those things for upcoming topics. Also, there are some cool games for CSS. So I will give you all those games.